That's a lot of torque.
All right, guys, it is new shoes day for the 2020 Ecodiesel JL Wrangler. We've got our new tires in. We are down at Paradigm Auto Works once again, where we left our Teraflex Nomads the other day, and our tires came in, and we're gonna get them mounted up onto the rims, and we're gonna throw them onto the JL here very shortly and show you guys just what this is gonna look like with its permanent wheels and tires. Huge thanks to Epic Adventure Outfitters for sending me over these tires. A huge thanks to Paradigm Auto Works for helping me out and getting these going. I will leave links down in the description below to both of their channels. Let's go inside. I think Trevor might be working on the wheels right now and getting the tires put on. I'll show you just the tires we got and tell you a little bit about them. We went with the Nitto Trail Grapplers. So we did go with 37 by 12.5 inch, and 17 inch is pretty much the most common wheel we see on most of the Jeeps. I wanted to go with a 13.5 inch width tire. I just think that the wider profile gives it just a nicer look and stance. But something I didn't know, which I found out when researching these tires, is that the Trail Grapplers are almost 13.5 inches wide. That's because their lugs on their side protrude quite a bit. Trail Grapplers also have it's supposed to have some of the strongest sidewalls, and a sidewall puncture is pretty much the thing that will end your tire. If you get a tread puncture, not such a big deal. You can usually plug it or have it repaired. But if you get something through your sidewalls, and I've had that, actually we had that happen a few vlogs ago, you pretty much got to throw that tire out. So I was looking for something that is very resistant to sidewall punctures. We run into a lot of branches and sticks and stuff like that on the trails. And that's the thing with tires, is there is no perfect tire, guys. Lots of different tires will be better for different wheeling terrains and environments, and we wheel a lot in the mud, sticks, branches, all that kind of stuff, and these seem to be a very popular tire that perform well. So we're gonna mount up the tires and wheels. Trev here's got our Teraflex Nomad wheel, and if you guys didn't check out the video before, we did explain a bit, but these have both inflator valve, but they also have a unique feature, and that's for deflating. And we have a second deflator valve, which we can set as low as 10 PSI, and you just turn the red knob and you can air down without the need for an air down tool. So we do have to be careful. You don't put, I think it was what, 20 foot-pounds or pound-feet of torque on these, not very much.
Of course, you can get a torque wrench on this one here with a socket. This one here, mechanics feel.
Not so, yeah, so there you go.
I put some thread dope on here. It's the same kind of stuff that you would put on anything that you're threading into a coolant passage or something like that. It's not going to be used in this case to seal anything because there's an O-ring on here to do that. But what it is going to be used is to try and keep these dissimilar metals from corroding together over time. I could have probably used Never Seas.
So these are aluminum, and these are aluminum too.
These are aluminum too. Of course, they're anodized. The likelihood of it corroding is pretty low, but you can never be too careful.
Why take the risk?
Exactly.
These guys are heavy tires. Actually, maybe should we weigh these tires quick before we put them on the wheels?
Let's do that.
And then we'll give you guys a total weight of the tire and wheel combo, because they are almost 13.5 inches wide and they have fairly aggressive lugs and sidewalls. They are a little bit heavier than a regular 37 by 12.5. So I just happened to bring a scale with me today, guys. So I'm gonna grab that out of the Jeep, and real quick before Trevor mounts it on to the rim, we'll give the tire a quick measure so you guys know just how much these guys weigh, and then we'll measure the tire and wheel combination right after. My glass bathroom scale, probably not the best one to be lugging around a shop and putting heavy tires on, but you know, whatever, right?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? All right, so the tire is 85.2, you can barely see that in the sun, 85.2 pounds, and we'll mount it up onto the rim.
30.8.
So we've got just the rim without the ring on. Oop, turn that way. 30.8 pounds. And we do have a little bit of hardware that needs to go on there to put the rash ring on. So just a couple quick features about this. If you want to know everything about these rims, I did do a video 2 months ago about the Teraflex Nomad wheels, but this was also a feature that I wanted to try out and see what this is like. This is supposed to be good for down to 10 psi of airing down, and they've got a unique knurled inner lip on the outside of the rim, and that is supposed to help prevent the bead from unseating when you're aired down and we'll be definitely trying it down to the 10 PSI to see how that does. And because the Nittos do have a thicker sidewall, they are going to need to be aired down more to allow them to squish out and give you that wide tread pattern that you want for more traction off-roading. If you want to see like a full breakdown of these, go check out the other video I did going through the entire wheel and all their features. But they're 17 inches, they're 8.5 inches wide.
Decided to put in the airing down valve stem after I've mounted the tire. Okay. Simply because of how much this protrudes down. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get the tire up and into the bead without breaking something.
Trevor with a sharp eye. And then we'll give it that mechanics feel, torquing down to 20 foot-pounds. So these are a little bit easier to install than beadlocks. I've installed my fair share of beadlock wheels, and I'm usually around 25 to 30 minutes per wheel. But you do need a standard tire machine. You can't do these in your garage, obviously, because they are not beadlocks. We've got the air in, and we are gonna put these to 29 PSI. That's kind of what I've been running my Cam 2s on my JK at, so I'm gonna try it out. I think it really just depends on how much your vehicle weighs and what your preference is. So I may go up or down. That may not be the final PSI. So this is, I forget what they call this material, but it's almost like a plastic nylon.
Almost like Delrin.
Delrin, I don't even know what that is, but okay. And we're just gonna bolt this on, and that's gonna protect the lip of the rim from being damaged. Now we've got a lot of tires sticking out beyond the actual rim itself, but this is gonna help just kind of prevent damage and just keep it aesthetically looking better. And we're gonna just pop, what is it, 6 bolts on here to hold that on. So this is not a beadlock ring, guys, not like the Trail Readies on the JK. This is not going to prevent the bead from unseating, but it gives it a sort of a two-tone look. We've got the titanium gray finish inside, and we've got the black outer ring, and it's gonna just prevent that titanium finish from being damaged by anything that may come in contact, or at least reduce the likelihood of damage and you know, making it look like we beat it on the trail. The tires and wheels barely fit on the balancer. They are huge. We're gonna try to give them a balance. I didn't really worry about balancing my Trail Ready beadlocks before. They ran pretty good, but you know, 37s are pretty challenging to balance. So Trevor had to manually start spinning it because they're too heavy to get it going?
Too heavy to get the rotational mass going, and it just gave an error every single time.
So there we go, learned a little something about the tire balancer. So how out are these tires, these Nitto Trail Grapplers?
3.75 ounces. The worst I came across was 4.5.
Is that good or bad?
On a street tire and rim assembly, the most you'll ever find is usually about 1.5.
So,
but believe it or not, this is actually not too bad.
Pretty good.
I've had some guys come to me with big meaty tires on banged up old rims, and they need 8 to 10.
Really?
Ounces,
wow. Got the scale. Let's fire these wheels and tires on and see just how much they weigh all total. Let's see if we can do this one-handed with the camera. Barely. And we've got, what is that? Let's roll this off here. 118.8 pounds. So the entire wheel, the the Nitto Trail Grappler, 37 by 12.5 inches, which is more like a 13.5 inch compared to other 12.5 inch tires. We've got the Teraflex Nomad wheels with the rash rings and both the inflator and deflator valves on it at 118 pounds per corner. And we've got all 5 of them here ready to go. We're gonna pull the Jeep in and we're gonna take a look at it with these new wheels and tires on. I think it's gonna look awesome. I know, hey, isn't it clear? That's what everybody says, like the clearest backup camera on any vehicle ever.
Here, I got it.
Oh, I'm gonna make you lift the big one, the new one on.
Yeah. How much do those weigh?
118 pounds.
There you go.
So we'll try these air valves out because we put a little too much air in them to start, and we're gonna bring them down to 29 PSI because that's sort of what I like to run, but There we go, you just crank this open, and this is gonna go as low as 10 PSI. Well, we haven't set it, but it can go as low as 10 PSI, and then that's how easy it is to air down with these wheels.
These are really neat. I love how this keeps everything protected.
Yeah.
And super clean.
Well, it keeps the gunk out, right? That's the...
Oh, super nice.
Well, before we get them on the vehicle and they squish down, these are sitting on these wheels. It's really hard to line the camera up, but we're just shy of 37 inches in total height. So with the 8.5 inch wheel, they are standing up the sidewall taller rather than say a 9 or 9.5 inch rim, where you would get the tire wider and lower. So these are almost 37.5 inch in total height, and we know the factory tire size is 32.8 inches on the Rubicon. So thing to note before you mount these on the back, if you have the backup camera, don't put the center cap on. We just realized that is not gonna work at all. So we're gonna pop that off, get the spare on, and we're gonna pull it out of the shop. Gonna get our first look at the JL with its new wheels. Go full lock. Okay, wait, hang on. Come out a bit, go passenger a bit. It's good. All right. No rubbing with without suspension travel.
Yeah, buddy. How's that look? That's a lot of torque. Holy cow, with 37s.
Well, there we go. What do you guys think? 37 by 12.5 inch, which are actually more like a 13.5 inch tire. No lift on here. This is completely stock Rubicon height, but we've got this 17 by 8.5 inch Teraflex Nomad wheels with the rock rings, with the deflators on them. I can't wait to try those out on the trail. Loving the look of these trail grapplers. Super aggressive sidewalls on them, and they're supposed to be pretty good on the highway as well. Now we have 4.75 inches of back spacing with these wheels, so we've got, you know, a good amount of poke coming out the fenders. That is probably the least amount of back spacing that I can go with. The lift that I have requires 4.75 inches of back spacing, but keep note, guys, there are lots of lifts that require 4.5 or 4.25 inches of back spacing. So if you're looking at these wheels, make sure they are compatible with the lift kit that you're going with as well. Make sure they're compatible with any steering upgrades you might go with, like the tie rod, because some tie rods need more back spacing for those big beefy tie rod ends. Was thinking about color changing these wheels and maybe doing something else, but the titanium gray I think looks really good. Kind of goes with the whole black and white theme of the Jeep. And then the inflator and deflator valves that we have down here kind of have this like cherry red or Merlot red or whatever, which ties in nicely with the accent on the Rubicon. So I kind of think these are just a perfect fit for the white, black, and a little bit of red that we have on the JL. If you want to see this on the dyno, maybe the guys at Paradigm will let me throw it back on there and we can see if there's any difference with the 37s on here, and we can reprogram it because I have the Taser JL, which will let me recalibrate the computer for the larger tire size. And I also want to do a fuel economy run with that to see if adding that JL or the Taser JL makes any difference for fuel economy. If you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the description below, and I will go take the time to make those videos. But anyways, huge thanks to Paradigm Auto Works. Go check out their YouTube channel, and also go check out Epic Adventure Outfitters, both down in the description below. They both have YouTube channels and put out some great videos if you want to check them out. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of the JL content. I'll see you guys soon in the next video.